Good morning to everyone. So today's lead code question is 3300, which is minimum element after replacement with digit sum. So basically in this question we are given an integer array nums, and what we need to do is we need to replace each element in the array with the sum of its digit, right? So suppose if we have a number 969, then we have to replace this number with 9 plus 6 plus 9, which is 24, right? So we need to replace all the numbers with the sum of its digit in the array, and after replacing, what we need to do is we need to find the minimum element in the nums array after all the replacements. So we need to return the minimum digit sum basically, right? So let's see an example to get it more clearly. So this is the nums array. So if we replace it with the sum of digits, so it will be 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 1 is 4, 4 plus 1 is 5, right? So which one is the minimum out of this? So 1 is the minimum, so that is the answer, right? So if you see the second example, in the second example we are given the array is 1 2 3 4, so the same sum will get 1 2 3 and 4. So again the minimum will be 1, so that is our output. So if we see the constraints, a nums dot length has 100 elements, and each element can be up to 10 ki power 4, up to 10 ki power 4, that means 5 digits, right? 5 digits. So let's move to the approach part. So basically we are asked to every number every number with the sum of its digit, and then we need to return the minimum value. So what we'll do is we will compute the digit sum of every number, and then we maintain or we track the minimum value minimum value, and then, or we can say the minimum sum, right? We store the minimum sum, and at the end we return the minimum sum. Now the question is how to find the digit sum. So basically let's say we have a number 538, right? So to take the last digit to take the last digit from the number, we'll be using modulo 10. So if we do 538 modulo 10, it will give us 8. So then what we'll do is then we add this 8 to the sum this 8 to the sum, and then we remove this last digit. So for removing last digit, we'll divide it by 10, right? And these three steps we do until our number, let's say n, until our number n do not become equal to 0, right? So this loop will give us the sum of digits, right? So let's see this example. So see, 538 modulo 10 will give us 8. So initially sum is equal to 0, so sum plus 8, it will become 8. Then we divide it by 10, it will become 53. Again 53 modulo 10 will give us 3, so 8 plus 3, again divide by 10, it will become 5. Then again we do 5 modulo 10, 5 modulo 10 will give us 5, and when we divide it by 10, now it becomes 0, so we have to stop. So the sum of digits is 8 plus 3 plus 5, which is 16. So we get the sum of digits. So in this way we'll find the sum of the digits. So now we know how to find sum of digits. So when we are given an array, so we use the same loop on all the numbers, find the sum of the digits. So first we find the sum of digits for this number, so we get 1. So we check if this sum is less than our minimum, yes, so we store minimum is equal to 1. Then we find sum of digits for this number, which is 3. Then we check, is 3 less than our minimum? No, so we ignore it. Then 4 is not less than our minimum answer. Then we get 5 is not less than our minimum answer, so we get our minimum answer as 1, right? So minimum is 1 and our answer is 1. So let's move to the code part. So in the code part we have taken an answer which is storing integer max, all right? Then we have iterated over all the numbers, right? So we have to find the sum of all the digits. Then we have used the while loop. that is until a number is greater than 0, right? So we add the last digit, to our sum, and then remove that last digit, right? And after this while loop we get our sum of the digits. Then we check whether sum is less than answer. Sum is less than answer. If yes, then we update our answer to sum. And after processing all the numbers, we return our answer. So I hope I'm able to explain you the solution properly. So if you like the video, please make sure to like, share and subscribe the channel. Thank you.